Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Positive Eco News, a break in the day to think about the victories and the positive things that are going on. We don't give enough time to appreciate the victories. So that's what this is all about, getting together and talking about really great things, really positive things. And if you can just have one positive thought a day, it's been proven in research that can change the entire day. Can change how everything is. So what is today's Positive Eco News? Well, we're really excited to say that today elephants are being freed more and more frequently from captivity. And that includes zoos, it includes shows in places like Thailand and other places around the world. It is about elephants being recognized that they should not be in captivity. And this is amazing. It's not one particular story, but it's one particular concept that people have been asking for a long time, which is sentience and the comprehension that these beings are sentient. So we're going to talk a little bit about elephants today, talk about what's happening, the plus, the minus, and the plus, and what you can do to save elephants when it's all said and done. So hope you have a beverage of choice, water, coffee, tea. Love to know what your midday drink is. About 12:40 p.m. Eastern time right now. So we usually start having coffee a little bit earlier, but some days it just lasts a little bit longer. And yes, still rocking the Christmas mugs. All right, let's start talking about some elephants. This is really cool. So we found that there's this great story right here. And okay, so first of all, the great news is these 3 elephants are leaving this zoo. And this is Alice, Ginny, and Kate. Now, they've been in the Rhode Island Zoo, a zoo in Rhode Island. What is an elephant doing in Rhode Island? It is absolutely absurd, unnatural, and cruel. And thank goodness they're leaving. Now, what are they going to do? They are being sent to a new place that is it's a sanctuary in Tennessee. There's not a lot known about it. We're going to talk about it here in a few minutes, but they're being sent to a sanctuary so they can leave and they can get out of there. Now, why is it important that elephants leave? Elephants, especially Asian elephants, but elephants have passed what is called the mirror test, and that is a test about sentience. And what they did is they put a mark on the elephant's head and had him look into a mirror. And the elephant started to look in the mirror and started to wipe it off and clean it off, which means obviously that they know that they're sentient, they know what's happening, and they're able to correlate everything around them, which means they are as conscious as we are. They're conscious as we are. So they may have a slightly different thought pattern or process, but for the most part, we are all in this same concept. So this means that they understand that their families are ripped apart. This means that they understand their children are taken from them. It means they understand they don't have freedom. They're not doing what they're naturally supposed to do. These are keystone species that are supposed to be out in the wild, eating seeds, eating leaves, walking, maybe up to 10 kilometers. And then their droppings, as Ian Redmond explained to us, the seeds come back out in this perfect grade A fertilizer, natural, in the sun. And that is how elephants help us add the forest back. That's how we reforest. It's through the elephants. The elephants are essential to our life and the life of the earth. So why are they in captivity? Makes no sense. And thank goodness their sentience is being recognized. And around the world, the sliding scale of morality that we use as a society is changing. And we're no longer okay with having a sentient being in a zoo. Now, zoos themselves, as we learn making Harambe, Sierra and I learned so much about the zoo that we didn't even know going into that project. And we need to get rid of them all. There's zero reason to have a zoo around. we Sierra and I were talking about this morning. Zoos were created before travel. So late 1800s, whoa, there's an elephant in Rhode Island. Whoa, I could never go see that. That's in Africa. That's a concept. Africa's a concept. Well, it's 2025 and you can fly anywhere. You can literally get anywhere in the world now. So what are we doing? Why are we moving them and breeding them and keeping them in captivity and torturing their entire lives so they can sell tickets to go, wow, there's an elephant in Rhode Island. And thank goodness they can no longer say that because 3 elephants are leaving Rhode Island. Luckily, I want to share this again. This is fantastic. Yes. Have you ever seen an elephant in captivity? How did it make you feel? It's a terrible experience, and people are getting rid of them as frequent as possible. The Oakland Zoo got rid of their 44-year-old elephant, Donna. The National Zoo, Smithsonian-run National Zoo in Washington, D.C., removed their elephants, sent them to this other place. So all these elephants are getting it free. And when we talk about what is the difference between all of these types of things, what I'd like to talk about a little bit is, well, okay, first of all, Asian elephants, which are the mostly the predominant ones that you find, 1 in 3 Asian elephants lives in captivity. There's an estimated 15,000 elephants right now in captivity, and there's maybe 300 or 400 in zoos in America. The number is not exact, although it should be, because after the Endangered Species Act of 1973, elephants were no longer allowed to be imported into America. So they instead were bred inside of these facilities. So we have that problem where they're just breeding them and trading them amongst the zoos. So absolutely terrible. Now they are being sent to a place in Tennessee. So that is a good and bad thing. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we really feel that they should be returned to the country of origin, where what makes sense to them will make sense. All of us were created to live in certain regions. Animals were created to live in certain regions. There's just certain things that cannot be replicated that they know is not there. And as Chelsea says, hey, Chelsea, thanks for joining in today. Chelsea says they have a long lifespan. We saw elephants that were close to 100 out there. So luckily, a lot of these elephants in their 40s are being retired. So hopefully we can continue to put pressure on zoos to stop it. And this is kind of what we wanted to talk about. Now, okay, first of all, what we wanted to do is share an idea. Okay, so there's elephant cams you could take a look at, and I wanted to share with everybody. So this is what's happening here. This is San Diego Zoo. Here's the elephant cam, and oh goodness, it's like nothing going on there. All right. Well, earlier today they had on their live cameras, and these are all the poor animals that should be in the wild that are stuck in this zoo. So here we go. Here's what I wanted to share. This is the elephant cam in the San Diego Zoo. San Diego Zoo has a great reputation. When you talk to a lot of conservationists, environmentalists will say, oh yeah, that place is amazing. Look at this horrible setup. Look at where they live. Look at what's happening. There's no shade. There's nothing that's natural to them. This is absolutely cruel. It's really cruel. Sierra and I have been on elephant rescues. That's the thing, It doesn't have to be like that, because you can get animals that have been tortured their whole lives to go live in places like this. This is a drone shot of a sanctuary in Thailand. But this is what we're talking about, the difference of that concrete life versus a beautiful life inside of nature. And there you can see there's that baby Monkan. That was a 7-year-old elephant. And there's our friend Vicky Kiley, who is an amazing activist. She was out with Rick O'Berry working on the Cove and the dolphin issue there. Now she works with a lot of elephants in Thailand, and Monkan was part of her work. And this is a really fascinating story, because Monkan was chained up and in a terrible, terrible life. And actually, we want to show you, this is the evening we went to go get Monkan. and take him from his.
You're gonna come with us. So good. Oh, sweetheart.
This little baby here. Okay, so that was a video of Moncon in his chains. In the area he was forced to work his whole life. He's 7 years old. Terrified little baby. You can see his eyes are just bugged out and he's freaked out. Now, inside of elephant families, there is a nanny. There's a mom and a nanny for all the baby elephants. So they're really brought up like in a very communal fashion, very social fashion. Now, as you can see, Moncon is not enjoying that life there. And amazingly enough, we brought him to the sanctuary, and within a few hours of just walking around, he found who was his original nanny back at that other facility that you just saw the video of, where he was captured. We rescued him. It was a long journey. We brought him to this beautiful place, the place that you can see right here. This is where Moncon now lives. And we wanted to share with you the video of him reuniting with his nanny. So in case you're worried, the rope around his neck is not very tight. It's just used to make sure that he is introduced to the right areas at the right moments. So it's a safety measure for the elephant. And the guy that runs this particular park is a very long-term elephant family. And he knows elephants. And he is incredibly kind and gentle to them. And he's an amazing story because he used to allow elephant riding and a lot of the other things that create the cruelty that these elephants go through. And he converted. Now he runs one of the top fully ethical sanctuaries in Thailand. So there's a few amazing sanctuaries out there, by the way. We're going to do a whole show on sanctuaries. But I wanted to now share with you the sanctuary that, okay, so these elephants in the American zoos, the elephants in American zoos are now being moved to another sanctuary. And I don't know too much about it. We asked them if we could go. This is their Ellie Cam. So you can go to there, and here we go. Let's see. Where are they? Here we are. So I don't know. Let's just click on it and see what it looks like down there. Sierra brought up the point, is there snow in this area of Tennessee? And if so, is that a good idea that they're still there? Is this maybe a great intermediate spot? I mean, it seems like they have a lot of elephants. I mean, they can't have that much space unless they're taking over Tennessee in general. But there is an elephant right there. That is beautiful to see. Let's check another cam. So you can see them to go from that brown, dirty concrete and metal gates eating out of like a tub to these beautiful, beautiful environments where they can thrive. There's a lot of elephants there. You need a fence there for the elephant's own protection. And they're very safe. Elephants are very smart and they do not go through there. So, and here are the elephants that they have now down there. And these elephants, you can tell some are, so elephants are, there are African elephants and there are Asian elephants. And the subset of Asian elephants are the ones that are in India. Now, the sentience test has only been done on the Asian elephants. And I think that's because you can't get near an African elephant. They roam free. Their world doesn't involve us. And most interactions are probably not going to go very well. So we were told stay inside of the Land Cruiser, because if we're in this object that they see and it's bigger than them. But if we get out and start walking around, things would be weird and they don't know our shape and it could be dangerous. So a lot of these elephants are here. These are all elephants we wanted to show you. This is the elephant sanctuary in Tennessee. All of them came from zoos captivity. So there is a solution and there is a way. It's really beautiful. We can make this happen. And it's a great news that more and more people are recognizing elephant sentience and getting and demanding that they get out of these zoos. And one of the groups that's really doing a lot for elephants is called the Non-Human Rights Project. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them, but they are amazing. And I wanted to share with you this page. This is their page called Our Clients. Now, this is about the young prisoners, 7 chimpanzees held in a roadside zoo in Michigan. Yeah. Okay, so here we have some elephants and elephants Mari and Yajai, born in India, wild India, taken from their herds when they were young and imported to the U.S. in 1982 and 1992, respectively. They must have lost their endangered status in order to be imported. So, and here we have Jambo, Kimba, Lulu, Lucky, Missy. Here we have Happy, who has been at the Bronx Zoo for almost half a century. Happy is a very well-known story. It's a Bronx Zoo story. There is also Billy at the Los Angeles Zoo. So any zoo that's out there basically will either have an elephant or a closed elephant exhibit, guaranteed. And I'm curious what's going on in your town. Do you guys have elephants in your zoos, or have they shut it down? And here's a few more. These came from California, Fresno Zoo. Fresno. That is the last place in the world an elephant needs to be. Got no business being in Fresno. Elephants. These other ones, look at this. Connecticut. I mean, it's really crazy. And, oh gosh, look at that. That's horrible. Anyway, the good news is we're putting a limit on all this, and there has been even more good news to celebrate. I want to share with everybody. Sorry, I get so excited talking about elephants. We get a little lost in our enthusiasm here. So, Lucy is another elephant, by the way, we really wanted to mention. Lucy is in Edmonton Zoo, and Lucy, you're talking about an elephant that lives in Canada, in the deep snow of Canada. Our friends are working very hard to try to fight for Lucy. There's a lot of people fighting for Lucy, and there's a documentary coming out soon about Lucy, and Lucy is going to be included in our next documentary, Keystone. Jane Goodall adds the voice calls to move Lucy, the elephant, from Edmonton. It is cruel to put an elephant there. And if you've never been to Thailand or India, let me remind you that they live in very hot climates. They know how to live in hot climates. Oh, Jaleel says they have an elephant in the New Orleans Zoo. Geez, like that's, I mean, and that is a really, I mean, what would be to happen if say more destruction and damage came in? Think about all those animals that are trapped in there. If there was another natural disaster, let's hope not. But if so, these animals will be trapped in there. It's terrible. Elephant. Nobody in New Orleans really needs to see the elephant, I don't think. I think we have to recalibrate our expectations. And that is what's happening right now with tourism. And, it really comes down to us. We're the ones spending the money. How we spend our money dictates how animals are treated internationally. So you can show your pleasure if you stop going to the zoo, which is a challenge because, okay, if you're a parent, you have kids, and I'd love to know this from parents. Please, this is a very, very interesting topic. Have you taken your kids to the zoo? Would you, and why? It's very challenging because parents want kids to learn about animals. So it comes from a very good place. But to take an animal in that has zoochosis, you're going to see the shape of an animal, but not the movement of an animal. And, we need to recalibrate. We need to think that, elephants are exquisitely rare and amazing. If you want to see them, go to where they are, but otherwise they can live in your imagination. And the ones in our imagination are a lot happier and healthier than the ones in zoos that we keep finding. So the great news is the UK has started us off in the right way. They are banning the sale of activities that involve animal interactions. So if you're in the UK and you want to book your trip down to, Florida, you're not allowed to book a dolphin interaction. Super cool. You're just not allowed. And no more dolphin interactions, no more elephant interactions. Okay, here's one of the tricks. If you go to a supposed sanctuary and they let you interact with the animals, it's not a good sanctuary. They should be free of the stress of dealing with us. We all know how stressful people are. I can imagine animals they even get more stressed out. Now, this is an example of moving elephants out of zoos and having the right idea but the wrong approach. So here we have Born Free. They're talking about the ones in Dublin Zoo. And again, never met an Irish elephant. So this is an odd idea. And look at that terrible enclosure they have there. It just kept so shoddy. So luckily, Dublin said, okay, nobody's coming. The people don't want this. They want change. So we're going to get rid of our elephant exhibit. Now, Cincinnati Zoo, who we know from Harambe and what happened there, we know that they've been building an elephant enclosure. They took the elephants from Dublin Zoo. So look at that. Now we've got these happy, smiley articles. How do you get for elephants from Ireland and Cincinnati Zoo? You shouldn't. It's just like terrible. But they make it like an interesting thing. Now the question is, will we keep elephants in U.S. zoos? If we can stop the breeding, and there's the Fresno Chaffee Zoo, by the way. Remember earlier, it's one of the zoos where they've shut down their elephant exhibit. If they stop breeding elephants and there is no more elephant in the zoo, will the zoo make it? What can the zoo do? What do you guys think? Is there a place where they can help what's happening outside of their walls? So today we wanted to just celebrate some really positive news. Elephants, almost every day. A lot of these articles we were just referencing, these are from fall of 24 and right now, like January and February of 25. So as we speak, more and more elephants are leaving. And it's not because the zoos have made any sudden changes in their thinking. It's because us, the people, have changed our habits. And we don't want our kids to be exposed to that per se. And we're starting to call out on social media and call out all around that this kind of cruelty we're just not down with. We're a different kind of culture now. Cultures change. You can look up, there was an elephant that was electrocuted that was shot on film by Thomas Edison Company. I think it was Topsy in the early 1910s. That was considered okay, and that was sort of like a carnival attraction. People sat around and watched. We've never been civilized as we portray, but we're now starting to allow our consciousness to help us push forward, because that's the next phase of evolution. Empathy. We're having it now on such a mass scale that we're changing this. And this is an indication. This is a result of love. So I say congratulations to everybody. We're all part of this victory. We all need to celebrate it, and we can all show it there. And hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Jaleel. I'm glad to see all of you guys on today. And you're right. The consumers do have the power. Let's tell them what we want. One thing that's really important for everybody to remember, businesses it's not their job to care. It's really not their job. I mean, if you're a CEO, you're running a zoo, you have to make your money. You have to make sure your animals are fed. You have to make sure your people are dealt with. So you have all of your expenses that you have to deal with. Your job is to run a profitable business. We don't blame you for that at all. We understand you're just doing your job. Thane Maynard of the Cincinnati Zoo, you're doing your job, and you're trying to do it the best you can. The problem is that the zookeepers are not the decision makers. Companies don't understand what we say. Well, free the elephants doesn't mean anything, but we show them that we're not going to go, and when the only thing they understand is money, so we have to speak in their language. And the only money we have is in our wallets, right? None of us are too wealthy. So you have the power. This is the beauty of our country. We have the power. We have the power to make the change. And we've seen it at SeaWorld. We're seeing it at zoos, and we can keep doing it right there. So let's see, Chelsea. has got some dollar signs, right? That's, we can be in control of that. Jaleel, what's your thought on global wildlife? There's animals there like zoo, but free range to an extent. So global wildlife, interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me get back to you on that, Jaleel. That's an interesting question. I'd like to know more because we were just in Africa and we got to see absolutely free roaming everything. Where actually nature it's amazing. Tourism is built around just being able to go observe free roaming stuff. We had like millions of wildebeest. We saw the wildebeest during their annual migration. We saw, lions eating wildebeest and feeding their babies. The lion babies. We saw wild elephants, leopards, all these things. Absolutely incredible. But we've also seen elephants in Thailand that have been chained, as you saw Mong Kong, and now in beautiful places. So every time there's an elephant that is near a person, they have gone through the same training process where they destroy their spirits, whether it's done in America or it's done overseas. It's the same process because by nature, an elephant wouldn't get near you. And if they did, they'd probably grab you with their trunk and try to kill you. You're not supposed to be near them. We're not supposed to be near them. It's not cool. Like, we're not supposed to be. Now, we have destroyed a lot of their spirits to where they just give up. They use these things called bullhooks. There's all these kind of cruel things that are changing. Again, they're changing. And without these cruel ways of controlling these animals, they're becoming more dangerous. And that's their nature, We don't have great white sharks in our aquariums. So yeah, a couple different things. Oh, sorry, I just got up with this thing there. Yes, I do agree. We need to conserve the land. We need to. There's always the idea of rewilding. That'll be our next episode. Maybe we'll talk about some rewilding. Great positive news going on there as well. But we have to remember, for all of the negativity, all the problems, and all the animals we want to save, we can, dollar by dollar, zoo by zoo, animal by animal. We have the power. Don't forget. And this positive eco news proves it. And we just have to remember that, because the more we do, the more we help. So I'm so glad to see you guys on here today. It's so fun to be able to come on and have these conversations and talk about this really positive stuff, because every time I go to my Facebook, all I see is bickering and arguing and so many different issues. And they're important issues worth debating constantly. But we can't forget about all of our animals that we were fighting for before we had to start fighting for our rights. And as Chelsea says, boycott, absolutely, boycott your zoo. Boycott your zoo. Or if you think that the zoo is an important educational tool, I'd love to also hear your comments. Please, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong perspective. This is an open discussion and debate about how we can make more positive eco news. Because if we do right by the animals, it's always going to be positive. So thank you guys all for joining in today. It's really awesome that we can have these conversations. I love it. There's so many wins that we need to celebrate, and we need to bathe in, and we need to enjoy, because we don't have that many, so we got to definitely that way. So Elizabeth says more and more people are seeing how we benefit as species by letting creatures remain free. Just like we try to work with the poaching community, sometimes we always say to them, look, animal is worth way more alive than dead, and they're worth way more for humans free than they are captive. So just keep your freedom in your hearts, keep your freedom in your mind, keep your freedom in your emotions, and don't forget, every dollar you spend can change the world, because we don't own the animals. Absolutely. We love them. It's nature. It's our world. Not our world, but it's our world to view and see. So it's out there, and it's absolutely amazing. Oh, Rebalance Earth. These guys are doing an incredible job too. This is another piece of amazing positive eco news. Go check it out. These guys are amazing. What they're doing is they're trying to take the carbon credits that all these companies pay, massive companies, Delta, United, all these people pay these carbon credits. What does carbon credit mean? Not much. Generally not much. What they're trying to do is they're trying to take this carbon credit money and through blockchain and through very open visibility, give it to local communities that are protecting the animals, that are doing the work that save the world. So the communities that make sure the elephants aren't poached, because we need them to regrow our forests, to make sure that our gorillas are alive, and if they can keep these animals doing the work that they do naturally, then the villages get paid. So the villages get paid for the work the animals do naturally. And all the animals have to do is be themselves. We just have to don't be part of it, really. We just have to make sure that they have enough space, they have what they need to eat, and they need to go do their thing, because before we got here, their purposes are more important than what we're doing. Their purpose is to make sure that the earth stays in a balance. Nature is perfectly balanced and perfectly harmonious. Nature was created that way. We've come in and tipped all the different scales, but we can fix it. We can rebalance it. So good news. All right. Well, there we go. Everybody, rebalance Earth. Positive eco news. More elephants are free than ever. So if you have any friends in Cincinnati, tell them about the elephants. Help them understand that they're sentient. Like, I think if people get the fact that these animals are stressed out, and they shouldn't be there, that they will stop going. Don't ever forget about zoochosis, what we learned about with Harambe. Anytime you go to a captivity situation, you see an animal doing this, rocking back and forth, this, sometimes they'll just nervously pace, go from leg to leg. That is a stress behavior, and it's called zoochosis, and it comes from their environments. Hearing things you're not supposed to hear, seeing things you're not supposed to see, feeling things you're not supposed to feel. All of it, they understand is wrong, and they know we're not supposed to be here. So let's hear their cry. Let's keep pushing. Great job, everybody. We are making changes for the animals every day, and I can't wait to see everybody tomorrow for a little bit more of some positive eco news. Busch Gardens, you're next, Busch Gardens. Yes, let's try to stop them, because they have some terrible animal exploitation. So, the thing we can do is make sure we don't go. And if you have people planning on going, try to educate them, open a conversation. Don't tell them that they're bad for going to Busch Gardens or the zoo. Open the conversation and let them understand, and then they'll come to their own conclusion if they're okay with showing their children, tortured captive animals, or if they want to teach them something that's stronger. So thanks, everybody. Great conversation today. Always love getting some positive eco news. You guys have a great day out there. Thinking about everybody, sending you all great energy, and have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for some more